Well, hey everybody, Rhino here, and this is my Paldean Fates Master Set collection. This $1,000 set, originally released in January 2024, has been an absolute monster to master. I have a half a dozen videos on my channel of me struggling to get the cards I need from this set, from opening up ETB after ETB, to making up fake booster boxes, to opening up tech sticker collections, booster bundles, and every pack I could find. And I still struggled to get this thing done. Let's take a look inside and find out why this set was so difficult for me to finish. And so here it is, our Paldean Fates Complete Master Set binder. I'm so happy I get to say that now. We're going to take a look at the first 91 cards in this set, most commonly known as the bulk cards. Those are your commons, uncommons, hollows, rares, regular rares, and double rares. Paldean Fates is surprising in that it only has 91 bulk cards in it, and that means that it's got about half as many bulk cards as other sets do. Paradox Rift has something like 190, just as a comparison. But when you look at these bulk cards, one thing that's really interesting about them is roughly 40 of the cards in the bulk set are actually just reprints of previously released cards in the Scarlet and Violet era. You've got Toadscruel and Toadschool here. This is from Scarlet and Violet, and this is from Obsidian Flames. Surprising, Charmander down here at the bottom is actually from 151, which was released only a few months before Paldean Fates was. So interesting to see that they got a reprint of this one in here. There's only one other 151 reprint in here, and that's Raichu over here. So it's nice to see that they were able to reuse some of the cards, but otherwise there's not much to say about these bulk cards. So I guess one noteworthy card would be this Charizard EX here. Now this is a re-release of the Charizard from Obsidian Flames, and that Charizard was actually the cover art Pokemon for that set. This super popular card has Infernal Rain and Burning Darkness. People built whole decks around those moves, and it makes sense that they would re-release it again for Paldean Fates. However, if you've ever seen this card in the wild, you might be wondering why they're different prices. The Obsidian Flames one is actually worth $4, while the Paldean Fates one is worth $2.50. So the only difference between those two cards is the little bit of text in the corner that tells you what set it's from and what number it is. So another thing I really like about this set is that they re-released a lot of the popular and playable trainer cards, like this Iono, for example. You get to shuffle your hand into your deck, and your opponent does the same. Then you draw back as many cards as prizes you have left. This is a staple in modern decks. I still see it all the time on Pokemon TCG Live. Electric Generator, another popular card. Nimona, Nest Ball, Professor's Research, Rare Candy, Ultra Ball. Those are all standard and staple cards in many modern decks. So really cool to see those at play. And while the basic 91 cards are simple enough to find, I mean, it's only got 10 double rares and 12 hollows, and the reverses aren't even that hard to get. These cards only tell half of the story. This insane set has 120 unique, shiny, rare Pokemon. They take the place of reverse hollows in some of your packs. You don't get one in every single pack, there's no guarantee. And even if you do somehow get one, you're gonna end up probably getting a bunch that you already have. So either way, it's gonna require you to buy a boatload of booster packs to try to get all of these shinies. So these baby shinies, they're not only difficult to pull, but they're difficult to buy as singles as well. If you happen to find one in the store, you're going to see a price ranging from $1.50 for this Cleffa all the way up to a staggering $36 for this Pikachu. And remember, there's 120 of these shinies. So if you're a collector, you're looking at all of these cards and saying, wow, I'm either going to have to buy hundreds of booster packs to get them, or I'm going to have to spend $300 to $400 just to complete the baby shiny section. And for a lot of collectors, that just wasn't something that was worth the time or the effort. So a lot of collectors just walked away from this set and said, no thank you. I was lucky enough through a combination of card shows, local card shops, and doing trades with people, giving up, my extra shinies for some of their extra shinies. I was able to complete this set. The baby shinies was the last part of the set that I had to complete, and actually the very last card that I got to complete this binder was this Oinkologne up here. It's not super expensive, I just wasn't able to find it anywhere, and it actually wasn't on TCG Player when I looked. But I found somebody who had it, we traded, and now all the baby shinies are done. So now after the baby shinies, you have the shiny ultra rares. There's 12 of them here, and they also take the place of a reverse, but these were not too difficult to complete. I was able to get them all fairly quickly. and they're not super valuable either. The most expensive one, I believe, is this Mew at about $8, and this Pidgeot EX is also getting close to $8, but otherwise not super expensive for those. Now, the Pokemon Company did something really bizarre when it comes to this set. They only released 3 illustration rare cards: the Wugtrio, the Palafin, and the Pawmi. And the reason that that's really bizarre is that illustration rares, they're new to the Scarlet and Violet era of sets, and they're super popular right now. People are always looking for those, hunting for those, and some of them are valuable, upwards of $20 to $30. But these 3 cards in Paldean Fates are probably the most universally hated illustration rares of all time. And it's because they're so dang easy to find. I seriously have like 15 of these Wugtrios alone. That also means that they're not very valuable, less than 40 cents a card. And what makes it worse is that they're stealing hits that could have been baby shinies that you're looking for, or, even some of the bigger special illustration rares. So you go out and ask any serious collector of Paldean Fates or modern Pokemon in general, and they'll probably have a horror story for you about how many Wugtrios they've gotten. Now, we also have 5 full art trainer cards here, and they're also fairly common and easy to get. People aren't a huge fan of them, but I've not been hearing as much disdain and hatred for these cards as those illustration rares. I mean, a few people talking smack about Clive here and there, but he's not that bad. Now, all that being said, the next 14 cards I'm going to show you, they're what make this set valuable. They are the chase cards of Paldean Fates. And the first 3 here, Mew EX, Gardevoir EX, and Charizard EX, they're the most valuable cards in this entire set. The Bubble Mew was actually the first special illustration rare that I pulled from this set, and it's kind of what got me into wanting to try to finish this set. I've gotten a couple of them over the past few months, and I guess you can blame Bubble Mew for me getting all those Wugtrio, because I just kept buying packs after packs trying to get the rest of these. Now, these 3 cards have come down massively in value since release day, and they're probably at one of the lowest values I've seen them at ever. So if you are interested in trying to pick one of these up for yourself, this might be a good time to go down to your local card shops, take a look online, and see if you can get one for a good price. The special illustration rare trainer cards here are also really cool. I love the fact that each one of these 5 cards, they've got beautiful artwork, and they're all also super playable cards. I mean, again, Iono, it's a staple in decks. Nemona's a great card. Penny, I don't see it as often anymore, but it's still a great card to use in decks. I see Arven all the time when you're trying to get your Pokemon items and tools out and things like that. But one card that I really do love here is Clive. This Clive is like a Where's Waldo, or if you're overseas, Where's Wally picture. You can see all sorts of really cool and interesting things when you look closely at the picture. Tons of tiny little details that the artist included in there, and I absolutely love that feature of this card. So the last 6 cards here, these are the hyper rares, and they're interesting, but they're a little bit different. You notice that with hyper rares, they're supposed to be gold. They're usually big full gold with some color in the middle, maybe a rainbow if you got like a rainbow rare. But what they did here is they took the full arts from Scarlet and Violet and Paldea Evolved for these 6 Pokemon, and they just colored them gold. And they put them on this weird, like, tennis court green background and put them out there. So these are different from any other hyper rares that I've ever seen. I don't know if I'm a huge fan of them because I just feel like they're different for the sake of being different, but maybe for some of you, they're your cup of tea. And with that, we've gotten to the end of the binder, so the only thing left to show you would be some of the promotional cards. So there were a handful of promotional cards that were released with the Paldean Fates set. And so the biggest ones I think people really were looking for were the premium collections. This is where you get your Paldean starters, your Sprigatito, Florigato, Meowscarada, your Quavel, your Skeledurge. These are all shiny versions of them, and the only way to get the shiny versions of these Pokemon is to buy those premium collections. You might still be able to snag 1 or 2 of these in your local stores if you happen to find them. But there were a handful of other promos released here. So you've got Shiny Greavard, Mastiff, and Fido. Those were released with the Tech Sticker collections. You've got the Iron Treads, the Great Tusk, and the Charizard EX. Those were released in tins. So you have 5-card bigger tins, and you had these smaller 4-card tins. Those are more recent releases. And then finally, you have your Mimikyu art cards. These were released in the ETBs, and I've got 2 of them here, and that's because these are 2 different cards. This one here is the standard ETB Mimikyu. It doesn't, it's a nice art card here, but it doesn't have the one thing that this card has, which is a teeny tiny little Pokemon Center logo down here at the bottom. And that makes this card just slightly more valuable. I think this card's worth like, 70 cents, and this card's worth about $4.50. So, those are the promos that come with Paldean Fates, and honestly, that's the end of the binder. And so that's the story of Paldean Fates. You're going to need to buy a boatload of booster packs if you want to finish this set, and you don't get any booster boxes to help you out with this. No, you have to buy Elite Trainer boxes, premium collections, booster bundles, and random assorted packs here and there. They don't even come in like other collections. You're not going to find them in Pokeball tins and stuff like that, so it's really difficult to finish this set, not only because of that, but because there's 160 unique hit cards in this set. Compare that to something like Paradox Rift, and when you take all the double rares, hyper rares, art cards, and things like that, there's 100 of those in Paradox Rift. 151 is 54, but Paldean Fates has a huge 160 unique hit cards that you have to try to get. You can understand why a lot of collectors just said no thank you to this set. And that'll do it for today's binder video. If you liked what you saw, go ahead and leave a like. You can drop a comment down below. Let me know, what do you think of Paldean Fates as a whole? Are you going to try to hunt for this set yourself, or have I sufficiently scared you off from this crazy intimidating set? If you're not subscribed to the channel, I'd really appreciate it if you do so. We're trying to make it up to 3,000 subscribers before the end of the summer, and you could really help us out. If you want to support the channel in some other ways, you could go down to the description below where you'll find 2 links. One is to my Streamlabs tip jar, and the other is to my Patreon. You could be like these awesome people here and donate a few dollars to the channel every month, and that would go directly back into buying more booster packs and more awesome things to make more videos for you guys. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll see you all later. Rhino out.